So I was wanting to powder coat this hub, and I couldn't get the dang bearing out of it. So I had to go with this, the Pittsburgh slide hammer bearing puller set from Harbor Freight. And already did the bearing, and I recorded it. I had it sitting on this bench, and it bounced all around trying to get it out. And finally, I had to mount the hub there. And even after I mounted on there, it was still kind of tough I had to get on my tippy toes. This bearing was really tight, but I need to reuse the bearing, so I was trying not to damage it, which is why I had to go with this, and it really saved the day. I mean, I could have got the bearing out with a punch from the other side, probably would have nicked up a few things, but I would have gotten it out if I wasn't worried about the bearing. But I was trying to save the bearing. Like I said, I need it. But this back wheel needed some spokes. I was waiting on some spokes to come in so I can get the spokes on here. And I thought, well, since I got it tore down, might as well just powder coat the hub, right? Exactly. But this is pretty cool. I'm not exactly sure what all sizes it comes with. Let me see. Alright, so it's got a 3-pound chrome-plated steel slide hammer, T-handle for secure grip, chrome-plated shaft for smooth operation, packed in a sturdy carry case. That's great. Includes a slide hammer, 4 collets, a 3/8 to 1/2 inch, 9/16 to 11/16, 5/8 to 1 inch, and 1 inch to 1 1/4. And again, the convenient carry case. But you see, it's basically 5 pieces. Well, 7. Well, if you count them all. But anyways, you get the point. And like I said, I had recorded pulling it off, but the camera bounced around. Actually even fell off the bench at one point, and you can't even really see what's going on, so I'm cutting that out. But I've already got it pulled out, and well, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, I don't think you need directions for this thing, really. You put this in there, you loosen this up first, actually, and then you slide this in. Just put it in all the way, maybe just a little bit of gap there, and then snug this down, and then get you a wrench to hold this, and then tighten this, and then screw this onto this here. And this handle might be a little loose, so you might have to tighten this up. Just hold this down and put a wrench on that and tighten it. Yeah, see, it's loose right now. But that's the only thing I don't like about it, because when you try to turn the handle, you can tell this thing, it doesn't really tighten that good. Anyways, the hammer, it's 3 pounds, but it really don't seem like that much though, because I really had to beat the heck out of this thing. I had to get on my tippy toes, actually, which I'm kind of short, but I tried to do it by just holding it, and I just wasn't making no progress with it. I tried both sides, wasn't getting anywhere, so I thought, well, I'm just gonna bolt it down to the table right here, and that made it a lot easier. I was making progress with every pull at that point. But now I got it turned over and got another socket that fits the inner part of this bearing, which I don't know, it may not be a good idea since I'm trying to save the bearing, but at the same point, the puller, when you use this, it pulls from the center. But actually, I take that back. When I put it in here and slid this in, it actually tightened down on the well, let me get it, hang on. Here we go. It tightened down on the spacer here more than it did the bearing. The bearing was actually loose on there. It was tightened onto this. So when I was pulling this with the bearing. So actually, now that I think of it now, I really had no pressure on that bearing. So that may be why I was able to save it. The bottom of it looks kind of rusty, but this bearing is still good. There's really no play in it either direction. It doesn't wobble, and it may not even be that old, really. It may have been replaced before this thing gave away, and it's set for a few years. But so it may just have some surface rust out here. Doesn't matter, gotta have it to hold up. Yeah, I think it'll get us through one race. By the time I get it cleaned up real good, see, I mean, it's already rolling a lot better than it was when I first pulled it out. And I've had it in the parts wash. I haven't done anything to it. It's just been sitting in there. And it's rolling a lot better than before I put it in. But I mean, there's no need to replace it. There's nothing wrong with reusing bearings as long as the bearings are good. If they're no good and there's, you know, play and some wobble, it definitely needs replaced. But in this case, it just looks bad, but it's still good. But I'll get it washed out, put it back in the cleaner, and then I'll wash it up real good. Try to clean it up as good as I can. Blow it out, clean it out, dry it. And with this Harbor Freight greaser stuff, I've noticed that it kind of has like leaves kind of a little bit of a film sort of on there. So you have to kind of wipe it off. It may just be maybe from the, I tried to clean the thing up. If you watch my other video for the low budget parts cleaner, I'm using plastic tubs, so those tubs kind of get caked with the grease and dirt and everything from cleaning. So try to clean them out, but still even scrubbing it out real good, and then it still leaves kind of a residue in there. So it could be what that's from. But after I scrub it out and dip it down in a clean bucket, and then I'll make sure I get some oil on it right away so it doesn't really start locking up and rusting in place from the water. Because if you don't act quick with the oil, which, you know, it'll start rusting at each point. And so these are the other pieces here. So they're tapered at the end, and they're not threaded all the way. I do believe they're all the same. Yep. Now this one at Harbor Freight, I think it's, I don't know, I didn't pick it up, but I think it's around $79. But I actually traded something in order to get this that I traded something I hadn't used yet, and so I could get this. So I'm not really sure, but I think if you can get it on the out of the magazine, you get it. There's a discount if you subscribe to that thing. There's a discount on this part. Yeah, that's kind of what I like about Harbor Freight, and they allow it actually. I mean, if I didn't want to use this, I could package this thing up, put it back in this box, and take it back and trade it for something else that I can need to use. I don't really like doing that, but in this case, I needed this thing really badly, so I had this Bauer bandsaw. I hadn't even used it. It's brand new, still in the box. Got it from a parking lot sale, and I was wanting to get a table for it that I've seen on eBay. I never did get the table, so I needed this. Took that up. I didn't do it, but somebody took that up, traded it in, got this for me. So I was able to get these out, or the first one anyway. And so, my opinion, this thing is pretty awesome. Which I don't have a problem with Pittsburgh. Most of the Pittsburgh stuff is not too bad. I've got a Pittsburgh ratchet set, and it's pretty decent too. Haven't had any problems with none of it, except this one thing. This is broke, but this is broke. Come to me broke. I didn't pay for it, but anyway, that's the only thing. So anyways, this is more really about this tool rather than this bearing, which this hub, if you're interested, is a crf150rb. This is RB. And honestly, I might just slice this and another one I've got about using their tire changer from Harbor Freight, how you can use it. If you had two of them and you got this extra piece, it actually works pretty good for these hubs. Without this extra one, it's nearly impossible to do it. But if you got this, you can clamp down really good. Or if you got just another plate that you can use or something around the same size, maybe a strong plate. But I may not have this long. I just need it for these to get these bearings out, and I thought I would share my experience about the tool and what I thought about it, and I think it's great. I've seen some other ones on eBay. If I was really looking for one, I'd probably just go back to get this Pittsburgh, because I know it works pretty good. Like I said, I've seen those others on eBay, and they're cheaper, like $30, $40, and I think you get more attachments with them though too. But I would feel confident in this with this one here, no problem.